right, there we go. Hey, Eric, what's going on, buddy? Got a little late start than usual. I know I'm usually in about 8:56, 8:57, so we'll give people a couple minutes and I'll get started and we'll go from there. Jay, what's happening, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. All right, Robert, Alex, everybody joining in. Awesome. Appreciate it, folks. Well, let's get into what happened last week. My desktop took a crap on me last week. So literally it took me and my son 2 days of figuring it out to get everything back up and running. I had to get a new motherboard and then things were acting funky and we were just going back and forth. So we did all day Tuesday after work. We did all day Wednesday after work. Up until late Wednesday night, trying to get my desktop back up and running. We finally got it back up and running late Wednesday night, and I just didn't want to rush to try and do a stream at the last minute. So that's what happened last week. Bunch of technical difficulties. Way too many technical difficulties. But what I'll do is we'll talk about Shake and Bake for a short minute because I don't really have much of an update. And then we'll get into the chat and we'll see if you guys can keep me going for another hour. You guys are usually pretty good at it. So hopefully you're good at it again and we'll keep going. But so update on Shake and Bake. We're not really anywhere else than we were the last 4 weeks. We're still waiting on the trans. Supposedly it's supposed to be on its way back to Stark's performance early next week. So hopefully we get it early next week. Stark said he put the transmission in as soon as it got back. That's the only thing we need to do is pop the transmission in. Everything else is just sitting there waiting. So it shouldn't take us long to pop that back in, and hopefully next week we'll get back to some racing content, get some back to some test and tuning content instead of this filler content I've been trying to keep up with. So that's the latest and greatest. Possibly get our little secret thing in before we go to Rocky Mountain Race Week. We'll see if we can make that happen. May or may not happen. Just all depends what's going on. And then Jay and I, we sat down last weekend, sat down at the table, talked things out, got everything set for Rocky Mountain Race Week. Jay's going to be my crew chief and videographer for both our channels. So you should see a number of content coming out on both our channels. Not sure how it's going to go. I may have to wait until after the week to put things out. It just all depends how racing goes and the like. So come the week of the 23rd, we may not have anything. until that next week when I get home and have time to put videos together. But we'll see how it goes, see what kind of time we got when we get to the hotels and things like that, and see if we can't put out at least some content of what's going on. So that's where we are. And yeah, it's all good news so far. Haven't had any bad news. So hopefully the good news keeps coming. So let's get into the chat. Eric J, Robert, Alex. Alex, got the new motor mounted in the car. Can't stop going into the garage and looking at it. Congratulations, Alex. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough when you want to get things done, especially when it's sitting right in front of you. Super tough, super tough. Jim, thanks for chiming in, buddy. Hey. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yikes. It's too early to be doing that. Jim, hey, Don. You ever bring Shake and Bake up to Cambria County? I have not brought it up to Cambria County. I mean, I'm actually from Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. I've drove, up 83 to, 322, and then up to 1115 to 80 over to Lock Haven. But I'll have to look into it. Jim, what track is there? Is that Maple Grove? If it's Maple Grove, I may try and hit a Maple Grove test and tune one of these days. I really do want to get up there because it seems to be a pretty nice track up there. So Jay's going back to Alex. Congrats on the motor. Good job. Jay's got his 6.4 short block completed. Nice. Working on the 5.7 stroker. Awesome. Yeah, Alex, he's cruising, man. He's starting to get things done. Eric, yes, sir. All good news. Everybody got good news today. That's great. It's always nice when everybody has good news. And even have good news for Incredible Hemi. He's going to the track Friday night. So he finally got all of his stuff back together. So that's pretty awesome. I may try and get up there Friday night, try and get some racing content from the test and tune Friday night. If I go up there, it just all depends what happens. Jake, Rocky Mountain Race Week, can't wait. Oh, it's going to be a blast. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be fun. The wrench and the director. Yes, sir. Eric, bummed it's not in Denver this year. Yeah, and unfortunately they closed down Bandamere, which is really tough, man. I wish it would have been in Denver too. That'd have been really cool. I've been to Colorado Springs a few times. It's really, really pretty up there. I wish I would have got the race at Bandamere just once. Jay is a man of many talents, that's for sure. Yeah, I think we may be able to get a couple lives out of, especially the races on the weekend. That'd be sweet. There's no one around me that likes cars, so I spend hours in the garage with my golden retriever. Oh man, that's terrible. It's always fun to share the experience with those with similar hobbies, similar mind frames. Won't be able to get out myself till mid-June. Yeah, sorry to hear that. One bad plum. I'm sad to hear that, man. Yeah, waiting around is tough, man. It's hard. It's really hard. I've been trying to keep off of Sipple. I've only been hitting them up once a week. And I hit him up on Monday afternoon. He got back to me Tuesday morning. Said they're going to be tearing into the transmission either tomorrow or Friday, which hopefully gets it to me Tuesday, Wednesday next week, hopefully. I'd love to get some test and tunes in, especially if we don't get the surprise put in Shake and Bake. I'd like to get some testing tunes in to make sure the car is right before we roll. Yeah, Incredible Hemi finally got his truck together. Everything's good. He's got the tunes, and he's ready to go. Alex, so just a reminder, have the Hellion twin turbo kit on the shelf ready to go. Wondering if the stock 392 oil cooler is enough, or should I be looking for something better? Alex, I would defer that to Jay, and I'm sure he's probably already answered that question. Jay's going back to Alec or Eric. There it is. There, Jay doesn't even use an oil cooler, so there you go. Alex scares you with the turbos. I guess you can't go wrong with an oil cooler. Even if it's a small one, it's a little's better than nothing. Really. Yeah, one bad, that's for sure. Life really does tend to get in the way of a lot of things. A lot of things. But I hope all is well with life getting in the way and it's not something tragic or something bad. Hopefully it's something good that's getting in the way. So Jay, it's fine. Make sure the crank bolt stays tight for oil scabbage pump. Flows penny. Eric, RT Life's said he's hot over 70,000, got over 70,000 in his car. I feel like that's a good deal with all the content and what the car means to him. It's well worth it. Thoughts? Absolutely. So I was even thinking about doing somewhat of the same video, though I've kind of done that a couple times over the years. But yeah, I'm 100% with him. It was worth it 100%. Now, knowing what I know now, if I was to do it all over again, would I change things? Probably. And maybe that's a video, right? You know, if I were to change things, go back and change things, what would I do different? I know a lot of people have asked me that question a lot of times, and I do flip back and forth to I wouldn't change anything, or I would just do things in a different order with the 5.7. And then some people was like, you know what, I probably should have just got a Scat Pack or a Hellcat and started with that platform. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, I thought that was his video was really well done. And he was absolutely 100% genuine throughout that video. And yeah, I'm just like him. Alex, the housing the oil filter goes on is considered a cooler. All right. Dominator, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Robert, working on my 5.7 stroker and picked up my 2.4 Hellcat supercharger. Nice. Nice. They make great power on a 5.7. There's a number of people that have done it. Check out Always Angry if you haven't checked him out. He's got a Hellcat supercharger on his 5.7. Jay's going back to Eric. He's got over not hot typo. All right. Eric's going back to Jay. Alex says sounds good. Jay's going back to Alex. Jay was saying he was making 800 on 14 pounds of boost. Yeah, I hate doing what other people do, but it was a really good idea. You want a turbo? Yeah, go single turbo if you have to. That's right, Robert. So here's something we found out, and for those of you that know where I got my torque converter from, you take it for what it's worth. But they gave me an HP 70 torque converter, and it was chewing on the splines on the input shaft. So now I'm unsure if it was actually the clutches that were going bad, or it was the rounding off of and shearing off of the input shaft was making the trans do what it was doing. So I'm not really sure. I may get more. Once I get the trans back, I may ask Sipple for some more information on all of that. Hey, how did everything look on the inside, and things like that. But yeah, it is what it is. Send it to him. It's getting built. That's really all that matters at this point. You know, whether it was the torque converter, the input shaft, or the clutches, it really doesn't matter at this time. But I did have to buy another. I did have to buy another torque converter, and I bought one from Sipple because they had them on hand. I was like, just get the one from Sipple and put that in. No, Jay, I was saying if I would, knowing what I know now, if I would have known that back then, would I do things different? Is what I was trying to say. I do love having a 5.7 running with the big boys, no doubt. And it does surprise a lot of people. You know, I always get, oh, you got it stroked out. No, sorry, bud. There's no way for me to prove it to you that it's not stroked out, but I'm telling you, it's still a 5.7. But it is fun running with the Hellcats, and they're looking at the side of the car saying, "You're still a 5.7." Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Alex, without the cost of the car, I'm about $20K into the project. If I could do it all over again, I'd go high compression E85 NA and call it a day. There's been a number of days I thought the same thing. Like way back when I said, you know what, I'm staying NA. I'm never going boost. I probably should have never went boost and stayed NA. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, NA was a lot of fun. A lot less stress. Things were still breaking and still having issues, but not near the issues. And little things. I say issues like they're big, huge issues. All of my issues, for the most part, have been little here and there. But if I would have just went E85 and NA, I would have had a lot less headaches. Yeah, Eric, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I, like I said, I flip back and forth whether I would actually do things different, or do the same thing with the 5.7. Yeah, it is what it is. Eric, going back to Jay. David. Cope Racing Trans is another option. That is true. Depending on how we do the secret sauce we're talking about doing, could be other trans options. Other trans options as well. But yeah, I just went ahead and got the 90 build at this point. I didn't want to have to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole, which over the past month we probably could have got done if I'd just swapped trans to something like a turbo 400. But yeah, there's other trans options out there, that's for sure. Jay's going back to Eric. Alex. Yeah, buddy. Boost does bring with it some stress and some issues here and there. Yeah. But you know, if it's a consistent 11 something, you know, you can run the 11.0 class or some of those other classes. Yeah, boost is the game changer. Boost is the equalizer when it comes to smaller displacements and stuff like that. Robert, metal shavings. I'm not sure where that come from. It's a possibility there could be some metal shavings in if you're talking about my trans, could definitely be. Yeah, I may ask that question either towards the end of the week or beginning of next week because I am curious of what the inside of the trans look like. Jay thought Nicers was until he felt Boost. They both have their pros and cons. Both of them do. Robert's like, ouch. Alex, an 11-second street car, that's reliable. 11s is quicker than most anything you'll see on the street. That's true. that is true. People don't realize how fast an 11-second car really is. 11-second car is fast. And you bring up a great point, no doubt about it. Eric, I said turbo 400 a long time ago. I know. But we're going to see how, because I still do daily, though you can daily a turbo 400. It's a little more involved. But I do like having the HP 90 for a daily driver. If we get to the point where Shake and Bake's a straight race car, turbo 400 is obviously a great answer for sure. Hugh wanted to race with a 6-cylinder Mustang while you're NA would have been a close race. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree, Jay. And you know what? He's like anybody else. You hear good stories, you hear middle stories, and you hear bad stories. It happens with all of them. I mean, everyone's a human, right? These aren't machines working on these trans. So human error is there. Sometimes you just got to, work around it and make it happen. What time class are you shooting for? It's tough when it comes to classes because some go from 9.0s to 10, some go 9 to 950 to 10. So it's like, where do you put your car in what class? And it really depends on the race. But this setup, I would definitely like to see a 9.5 or quicker out of this setup before we do any of the special sauce stuff we're talking about doing. So really, it's not a class that I'm shooting for. I'm just shooting for a time. And when I'm shooting for a time, I'm looking at it from a build perspective, vice, comparing it to other people or what have you, or looking for a time class in a race or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. that's a good comparison right there, Jay. 5.7 combo on nitrous went 11.9. That same combo with boost went 10.8 on a flat tire. Remember, that was on a flat tire too. You gotta add that in there at the end, Jay. 1082, 10 psi, and a flat tire. Jay's going back to Hugh. One bad plum. Used to think that 11 was fast, hoping for 9 shortly. I know, right? And once you hit the number, you're like, I want to go faster. Then I want to go faster. Hugh, boost is just a way of increasing displacement. The problem with boost is that most people never have enough of it. Adding a pound or at a time, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. Good point, Hugh. Good point. You get it. You just want more and you want more and you want more. All right. He was going back to Jay. Alex. All about that return on investment. Yeah. Hey, as long as I'm smiling and I'm getting up and down the track and we're making passes, I'm happy. It's when we're not making passes is whew, especially for a month. This is by far the longest I've been without shake and bake. Let's see. When we did the swap, I was down for about a week and a half. Was the longest prior to this month wait for the transmission. So I mean, to give it up for a month for a transmission, no matter where I went, it probably would have took this long. If I would have went with pure, it would have took 3 to 4 weeks. So Sipple's working on 4 weeks right now. So yeah, no matter where I would have went, it would have been waiting. But this is definitely the longest, and it's been rough. It's been rough. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, if I can consistently hit a 9.5, I'd be definitely happy with that. With this setup. Yeah, Eric. He forgot the flat tire. He did that 1082 on a flat tire. Jay's going back to somebody. He forgot about the flat tire too. Smiles per gallon. That's right. Smiles per track run. That's for sure. No doubt about it. I know. And this is, you know the deal, Jay. I tell this to everybody. The 3 things you need to get this far in modifying your car is money, time, and the last one is patience, because it's going to take a lot of time. And if it's not a lot of time at one time, it's a little bit of time, a lot of a little bit of times, and it all adds up. But it's definitely going to work out. There's no doubt about it. One way or the other, it's going to work out. I know it. It's just got to have them patience, and I'm chomping at the bit to get out there. So we'll get out there as soon as we get the trans back. That's for sure. Alex, do you see Challengers everywhere since you can't drive yours? You sure do. It's like you see them everywhere, you know? It was like when I first bought it too. And driving around, I was like, man, there's a lot of Challengers around here that you never noticed before until you owned one. And then, like you said, now that I've had it and haven't had it for a month, you see a lot of Challengers running around too. That's for sure. Hugh, you're happy with the consistent 9.5? Who you trying to get? I said on this setup, I'd be happy with some 9.5s. That's not talking about the secret sauce where we may be able to get in before Rocky Mountain Race Week. I'd love to get it in before Rocky Mountain Race Week, but we got to coordinate schedules between me, Mac, and Dave to make that happen. And I would like to have at least one weekend before Rocky Mountain Race Week on that setup. So when we get to Rocky Mountain Race Week, we at least have one set of test passes in. So yeah, we're getting there. Like I said, I'm just pacing the floor, waiting to get old Shake and Bake back. But yeah, we'll get her back. And I know technically Sipple doesn't have, well, at least that I know of. I haven't heard of any that, a break-in period. But we'll take it easy on the trans for a couple days and then hit the track. We'll do some street driving. We'll do some city driving. We'll do some cruising, getting through the gears. Hopefully everything will be happy, and then we'll hit the track that weekend. At least that's the plan. And I think with a good trans, I think we're in that 9.5 range. That's a good point, Hugh, and that's true. It's like crack. Once you have a little, you want more, and when you get more, you want even more. Though crack would have been cheaper than doing all this car stuff. But I kid, I joke. I'm only joking. But yeah, Jay, absolutely. I mean, all those milestones, it was almost like a half-second milestones. It was like 12s to 11.5s to 11 to 10, right? Yeah. Y'all, I'm always pushing the goalpost further down the road. That's right. There you go, Eric. Don't do drugs, get a car and fix it up. 100%. All right. Excuse me for a sec. I'll be right back. No, Indy, stay here. Come on. Come on. Are you coming in? Come on. Indy. Come here, lay down. Just closing the door. Sorry about that. Dogs busted in. Dogs busted in the door. Busted in the door, so I had to go back and close it. You ever get a completely stock time? So, God, I can't remember what I ran completely stock. I think it was low 13s, maybe a high 12, real high 12, low 13. I think was my best time completely stock. Unfortunately, I wasn't doing any YouTube back then, so I don't have a video or anything I can go back and look at and see what I ran back then. But I think it was low 13s, high 12s. There you go, Jay. Tell him it's on your channel. Go visit Jay's channel. It's on there. And that 10.8, I'm pretty sure you can see where he gets the flat tire too. Oh, thanks for asking, Eric. Mom's dog she's doing great. Amazingly enough, she's pretty much fully recovered. Now she is a little weary about going out for walks and things still. So the physical part, she's pretty much healed back up. She has a little limp, but she's healed back up. The psychological part, even with my mom, the psychological part is still playing a role there. But they're getting better, especially now. Summertime's coming. The weather's getting better. It's nicer out. Hopefully they'll start getting out a little bit more. And they do go for little walks, not nearly as far as they used to. But they're both getting there. They're both getting there. Thanks for asking, Eric. I appreciate it. Hugh started as a 14-second car. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. High tens with a five stock bottom end, 5.7 stick car is pretty good. You know, high tens rowing them gears, man. And that's truly rowing gears. That's not like a sequential or some of these other things that people that are technically stick cars, but it's questionable when the thing's shifting by itself. But Jay truly rows the gears, that's for sure. Eric, that's awesome. Pup's doing great. My Shih Tzu looks like hers, so it really, yeah. That video was tough, really hard. When we went to court, you know, Mom had to sit through it all again. It was tough, definitely tough. But yes, everything is slowly but surely getting back closer to normal. 06 was a 14-second car. Yeah, that's certainly going to take some time to get over. Glad Mama is doing better. Yeah, they're all doing better. They're all doing better. All right, you guys got to keep me going. 24 minutes. Got 24 minutes to go. But I know I say this a lot, and I say it at the end of every video, and I say it at the end of every Wednesday. I do appreciate the support, all of you, whether you're subscribed or not. All of you provide for me and the channel, because like I say it all the time. Everything from YouTube goes right back into Shake and Bake, and I promise you that that's where every red penny from YouTube goes. But just you know, every week, every Wednesday, you know, we're in the chat, we're in here doing our things, having a good time, just talking cars, talking mods, and it doesn't have to be Mopar. Look at, I mean, we got Hugh talking Mustangs, right? It's let's talk about everything. Let's just, you know, it's nice to talk about a broad spectrum of subjects than just trying to focus on one specific subject for an hour or so. So I'm glad we've been able to do it so far, but this one's looking like it's getting pretty close. And I'm really appreciative. I know I'm rattling my gums a little bit. I really do appreciate all the support from everyone that shows up every week. Or I get it. Life gets in the way. Sometimes you can't make every week. I get it 100%. And like last week, stuff happens. You know, there's times I can't get out here every Wednesday. But when I come back the next week, boom, you guys are right on top of it. And I truly appreciate it. It's not water. Well, it is water, but it's got Crystal Light, and this one happens to be raspberry lemonade. So those little packs you throw in these, what are they, 16.9 ounces? Yeah, 16.9 ounces of water. You dump the little packet in there, and it gives it some flavor, so you're not just drinking plain water. And you know, they may have some vitamins and stuff in there, a little bit of sugar, but not a lot. So it's just a little better than drinking plain water. What races are Rocky at the Rocky Mountain race? Oh gosh, you know what? I got my phone set to Rocky Mountain Race Week. So there is. So Eric, are you talking about classes, or are you talking about where are they racing? I know it starts in Tulsa, Texas Motorsport Splex, Mo something in Missouri. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the other one off the top of my head. Hang on. Hang on. We'll do this. 1.0. Oh gosh. This always kills me. They make it so hard to find. All right, here it is. So we start June 23rd. We start Tulsa Raceway in Oklahoma. We go from there to Texas Motorplex. We go from there to Thunder Valley Raceway in Oklahoma. Then we go to Mo Khan Dragway in Missouri. And then we go to back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. What class I'm going to run? I think I had to put it in the registration. I can't remember exactly which class I put on there. I think it was the 10-0 class, I think, but hopefully I can change classes because we may have to change classes once I get there. Anyone see the Pontiac ad in the Motor Trend magazine? I have not. Yeah, I know. I know you, Chris. Chris, I know you hit me up that you're like, hey, can you do it any other time? Because that's my golf night. Usually my golf night. But I already had it established, so that's why I kind of kept it at Wednesday at 9 o'clock. But I do appreciate you chiming in now. You know, when you're not out with your golf buddies, you come in here and you hang out with some of your car buddies. I appreciate it. Jay's going back to Eric. They have classes for everyone. They really do. There's some really, really, I don't want to say they're broad classes, but there's enough to where, pretty much anyone can participate in Rocky Mountain Race Week. It's just the hardest thing is getting tickets. I was lucky enough that literally they said they went live at 11 o'clock and I was online at 10. I was online like 5 minutes early and I just kept refreshing. And as soon as I saw the tickets available, boom, I got on there and got lucky enough to get a ticket. Alex says it's a joke, but people are thinking it's only half a joke. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see Pontiac coming back. Let's see, Eric. Yeah, we're absolutely happy, man. We're excited to get out to Rocky Mountain Race Week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be both of our first time doing a drag and drive, so it's going to be interesting. Randy, enjoy the content, man. Appreciate it. Just starting the journey with mods 19 Challenger RT. Hey, take your time. Make the three. I say this a lot. The three things you need is a plan, a goal, a plan to get that goal, and then make sure you stay within your budget. Now your goals can change, but yeah, get things set so that way you're not like me and buying things two and three different times. Because I kick my goalpost. Sometimes I kick my goalpost too fast, and I'm buying things two or three times. So just have a plan, so you know where you're going and you know what mods you need for the future, not just for the here and now. Junior, I've been absent. Did a shift change. Are you still going turbo? still going turbo. The plan is to still go turbo, but that plan has been put on hold because of the trans. So now we're doing the trans first, vice doing the trans later because we started having problems with the trans. All right, Eric. So I went over where they were racing. So hopefully you heard that. Alex going back to Randy. Jay's going back to Eric. Absolutely excited. We both can't wait. Mac. Oh gosh. The man is here. The man, the myth, the legend. Why aren't you scheduling me for the secret sauce? I can feel my texts blowing up right now. Junior's going back to Jay. Randy Pro Charger. Gonna be a Dale and not going crazy, just more fun. Yep. Love the Pro Charger because, like I said, you can drive like it's stock as long as you're not into it. But as soon as you get into that Pro Charger, boy, it's a lot of fun. Jay's going back to Junior. Dells. In your last video, you recommend doing hybrid tuning between street and dyno. Do you recommend both tuning be from the same tuner or separate? I would tell you to get the same. If you can do it, get the same tuner. Because usually tuners don't share their tunes between each other. If you can get two tuners to do that, good luck. But yeah, more like it would be definitely better to do it with the same tuner. Because like I said, tuners usually only tune off of their tunes. They don't normally tune off others' tuners. So they literally, if you switch tuners, you're going to start from scratch. But great question. Definitely a great question. I probably should have addressed that one too. To be honest, I've never had that question, but that is a great question. Great question. Jay, I want to use Turbo Smart evals, but need major coin for those, right? Jay's going back to Mac. Hugh, Pontiac could come back when GM did away with some of their brands. GM retained the rights to the Pontiac brand. It's the only one they kept. Okay, right. Maybe Pontiac comes back. It'll be interesting to see it. It'll be interesting if they do. Here for a good time, not a long time. All right, Eric. Chris, what's a budget? Something that you blow every time. You blow through every time. Junior, I'm thinking about building my own using a wastegate and divided 2-inch inlet T4 flange. Interesting. Mopar Adventure, you following the AMC GME craze? I am not. I'll have to look into that. Yes, shed some light on that. I'm with Jay. I have not been following that. Eric going crazy with the emojis. Hugh, car brands don't matter. It isn't like it was back in the day when car brands were different. For example, Pontiac, Chevys, Buicks had different drivetrains. That's true. AMC GME stock up 100%. Interesting. I may have to look into that. Jay, Hugh, if Pontiac comes back, that gives me hope for Dodge once Stellantis kills the brand. I'm really worried about the future. Yeah, everyone's worried about the future of Dodge and what Stellantis is doing. But yeah, I don't want to get into that stuff again because it's always bad news when you talk about when you talk about that stuff. Tim, late as usual, evening. Yeah, evening, Tim. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. I appreciate it. You're in for the last 10 minutes. If you guys keep me going for 10 minutes. All right, I'm going to look that up right now. Yep, I'm looking at it now. AMC is all over the news. GameStop, AMC shares plunge. We were just talking about them going up. Anyway. Let's see. Mac is in the house. My rods and pistons are on the way. Next month I'll start assembly on the Dig Pig's engine. Finally, nice. I know you've been waiting to get that car back on the road, man. I know that's a sentimental car for you. I told Jay if it does what I want, we'll have a 6-speed shootout. That'd be a good race. That really would be a good race. Jay, I think once you get the trans back and I get a engine put in, we need to line back up. Absolutely. You know we will. Yeah, Mac, that would definitely that'd definitely be a good battle. Tim, weather has kept me out of my car lately, plus needing another $300 car seat. Yeah, the weather's been kind of crazy, man. It's been raining quite a bit. Pretty nasty out there. Mopar Adventure, the government should able to stifle innovation and put in EV mandates. What we need is a corn-fed hybrid system, electric motors up front, V8 engine, electric motors while launching and coasting. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what a hybrid does, sort of what a hybrid does now, but I don't think, me personally, I don't think we need hybrids either. I think so don't get me wrong. I think EVs definitely have their place in the market. They definitely have their place in this world. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying I don't like them. But I think they have their place. Eventually they'll figure it out. But I also think the major manufacturers are going to figure out how to keep V8s around and come up with lower emission fuels, be it hydrogen or reusing carbon in the air to the carbon dioxide in the air, make gas from that. There's people out there doing it already. Porsche has a place that's already doing it. So I think there's alternative fuels that can keep the V8 alive. It's just where do we go with that? And how do we implement that? Because it's really going to boil down to infrastructure, right? Hydrogen, great fuel. All it puts out is water. But the problem is you'd have to redo the entire fueling infrastructure to be able to support hydrogen, right? So, if you say, all right, build a hydrogen car, then you're just like the electric car. Where are you going to get hydrogen? How are you going to get, long mileages out of hydrogen, right? So me personally, I think the route Porsche is going with making gas out of the air is a great idea because it's cyclical, right? You make the gas out of the carbon dioxide, the gas makes, makes carbon dioxide. You pull the carbon dioxide back in and you make gas. So I think that's the best bet, and then you don't have to worry about redoing the fueling infrastructure in the United States because it's gas. Anyway, all right, soapbox stepping down. Jay's going back to Mac, definitely down for a shootout. Alex, 6-speed shootout in Wisconsin, so I can be a part of it. I know, right? Chris, friends at the plant say they've had a lot of issues trying to run the new chargers. Interesting. And there's been some negative press on those too, that there may be some sabotage going on. I don't know. Chris, you may have a better ear on that one than the rest of us, but I know Butter the Insider put out a video that there could be some intentional issues with the new cars coming out. Mac, I'm hoping for deep 10s. NA with the 6.4 6-speed, probably spray it after to mess with Jay. All right, Mac. Alex, that's an entire day away. Yeah. Wisconsin is quite a drive. Don't hybrids operate at 30 miles and below? I think they all work different. It just all depends. Jay's going back to Mac. You should spray it for sure. Right on. Tim, then we meet in PA and get everyone involved. We'll make our own drag and drive. But yeah, Tim, PA is definitely doable, no doubt. Mac, E85 is the move, and they can make it out of fast growing type of grass, but they want to pay the farmers for the corn, so they pay more at the pump. Yeah. Alcohol's another one, right? So you don't have to worry about redoing the infrastructure for that either. You just put it in the tanks, right? Yeah, I did forget about E85. Mopar Adventure, modern supercars are running hybrid systems. I believe we can get 40 miles per gallon out of a Hemi with a hybrid system. I get 25 hyper milling. Yeah, there's no doubt. You take a V8 hybrid, you can definitely get some really good gas mileage out of it. But the problem is, and I know everyone's going to go crazy, but the EPA is putting such ridiculous mandates on car manufacturers over this year. It's going up to like 46, 47 miles per gallon across their entire line. So that makes it super tough when the government gets involved in putting these mandates on people, on manufacturers, and then they got to figure out a way to make it work. Now Ford obviously is making it work. I did a video on this. I think my personal opinion is Tim Kuniskis is trying to make it work to bring back the V8. I hope he's got that up his sleeve. But right, so you build a bunch of electric cars, you build a bunch of inline sixes, and next thing you know, you got a bunch of fuel efficient cars making up for the big V8s when you bring them back. Hopefully that's the case. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Brandon, what's up, fellas? Sorry I got in late. Got carried away in my video games. That's all right, Brandon. It happens. Jay, I knew you were going to say that, but I had to bring it up because it's all part of it, right? But I'm with you. For sure, sabotage with the new Rams. Yep. So Stellantis is firing people left and right out of all these places, and Stellantis, CDJR, they're all in a bad place right now. Tim, J to the ATF, it's race fuel, not consumer. Yeah, exactly. I feel they make The new cars to break sooner, in my opinion. Yeah. More eye burn, less carbon. All right, Mac. That's pretty funny. Dave failed a roadside emissions and put in 30% E85 and took it back and it was clean. Yepper. All right, folks. You guys got me at 10 o'clock. I appreciate y'all running me again until 10 o'clock. Let me get these last few out. Americans don't want small cars, is what it is. That's for sure. I'm with you, Alex. Reminds me of peak oil crisis in the 80s. Manufacturers were producing economical cars. Yeah. We talked about that several weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, about the oil crisis and how that's looking like where we're at. Yeah, good job, Brandon. Yeah, that's going to be a monster. But hey, like I said earlier, I appreciate all you folks getting this done every week. Y'all keep me going every week. You keep coming back every week. You're watching these crazy videos that I'm putting out now until I get Shake and Bake back. But I'm telling you, once I get Shake and Bake back, there's going to be a lot of racing content coming. I promise you that. There's going to be a lot of racing content coming. But I appreciate y'all showing up tonight. We'll probably do it again next week as long as life or technical problems don't show up at the last minute. So, hey, y'all have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.